hustle like Delhi. I'm just trying to stay ready till I die. I'ma hustle like Delhi. Yeah, I'ma hustle like Delhi. Everybody in Orlando, I'm a beast already. City on my back, it's a beast already. Nose to the grind and I hustle like Delhi. All day, I'ma hustle like Delhi.
It's Matty and Patty, coast to coast from Brooklyn. It's Pat McMenamin all the way to the Golden State. It is Matt Youngner. Say hello, Matty.
Hello, Patty. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing good. I'm hustling.
Much better than last time we talked.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little better than I did last time, if I do say so myself.
We're getting in a danger zone here, Pat.
Danger zone. Like I feel both more exhilarated and excited, but also filled with more dread and self-loathing and fear of the inevitable.
Yes.
It's funny how that happens. I was so excited about like moral victories and nothing to lose. Hey,
very manageable.
Any positives are positive, and it all now it all matters again, Matt. And I'm terrified. I'm a wreck. I'm not sure if I hold my hand still right now. No, it's shuddering still a little bit. I think still from last night a little bit.
For sure. That's our next week at least, right?
Easily of our life. So that was Hustle Like Delhi by Misery Jones of Artificial Intelligence. And Jesus goddamn Christ, Matthew Dellavedova. That's right. That is goddamn right.
Unreal.
Your dog knows what's up.
She's excited. She loves Delhi.
She should. Hell yeah. Deli Caprice, Deli Trey, Dellavedova, Teen Wolf, Mad Matt taking the Deli Trey and his Deli Caprice down the Fury Road. The Cavs just won their first NBA Finals game in franchise history with 3 of their season opening starters out, 2 of their top 3 scorers out, and shooting 32% from the field.
Unreal.
We won an NBA Finals game, our first. That is the most Cleveland victory you could come up with.
Pat, can I throw a couple other crazy stats out there from this game?
Let's just start us off. Let's just do this.
How about your leader in plus minus for the game is James Jones at plus 22? In 22 minutes, plus 22. That is insane.
Oh, you know what? And the craziest part is I am not surprised.
No, I'm surprised.
Oh, no, hold on. I mean, if you tell me that before the game, if you tell me that without watching the game, although maybe we'll talk about this in a second. But our friend Dave Deming suggested rewatching the game once you know what's going to happen, and I didn't have time to do that tonight. But I don't know. Not if you told me before the game, if I hadn't actually seen the game, I would have said that's obviously insane. James Jones can only shoot threes and do pretty much nothing else but be kind of tall. But no, that's not true. He can be in the right places at the right time on defense. He's smart. But when you watched him, I didn't see any glaring screw-ups by him. We had him in the right lineups against the right matchups. We were able to hide him on defense. And he was – I mean, did you see any moment where you were like, oh, fuck, James Jones? Did you have any moment like that?
I feel like almost every moment he's on the court, I feel like that.
But no. I get the general existential dread of having James Jones on the court. But can you point to a specific play where you're like, God damn it, James Jones, the way you did about 7 times with J.R. Smith?
I guess
that's plus 22. That's why plus 22, motherfucker.
I feel like he switched onto Curry at one point, and I got very scared. And I think that.
But nothing terrible happened, right?
No, we'll talk about that later.
No, that's true. That's true.
Did he post up Curry too? In the second half, he had a post up. He blew it, but it was the right move.
He put the ball on the floor and pulled up for a sweet jump shot. These are not sentences that generally involve James Jones. No. Putting the ball down the floor and pulling up for a sweet jump shot. Holy God. But just getting back to, I mean, look, if I had to thank one person on the Cavs, aside from LeBron James, who, of course, all thanks and praise go to you, glory God, LeBron James in the highest, to one dirty Aussie Matthew Dellavedova, this podcast is for you, you son of a bitch.
Well, you really fell in love all over again, huh, Pat?
Oh, God. Also, apologies. The profanity amnesty may have to continue through the rest of the finals. So be forewarned.
Yeah, that's not fair for you. You're not in control.
I'm not in a good place. This is the funny thing is I want my grandpa to listen to this. My grandpa, the man who in his 90s, who postponed a knee surgery so he could go golfing with me and my dad and my uncle in Ireland. Links courses. You have to walk the goddamn courses. He was walking it with no cartilage in his goddamn knee in his 90s. I want him to listen to this.
Cursing is too much for him? It seems like
I feel embarrassed. It's my grandpa. Yeah, he doesn't want to listen to that shit.
Did he serve in a war?
Yes.
I think he'll be fine.
That's true. This is a good point. Anyway, Maddie, let's move on to theoretical killing, not actual killing from wars. Let's start off with the kill list. Who on the Warriors has risen up on your kill list?
So,
and just to briefly again recap for everyone, we're not actually suggesting that anyone go out and murder any human beings whatsoever. We're both adamantly against killing.
We're pacifists.
In all contexts, we're pacifists. We're just saying in a consequence-free environment in the heat of the playoffs, when you watch these guys over and over again and they pull off the same dirty shit over and over again, you get to the point where at a consequence-free environment, you realize you might murder this person. All right, continue, Matt. Who?
So I'm going to couch this by saying my experience was very much influenced by watching the game with Warriors fans.
Yes, and I want to hear about this more in a little bit, but go ahead.
We'll talk about those details later. But so I'll come back to that in a second. Bogut is still right up there at the top for me.
Right.
I'm glad the refs seemed to catch on to his shenanigans at some point during that game, and he started getting called for a lot of loose ball fouls.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that just meant he got sloppy or the refs are paying attention or what, but he is still way up there for me. Does a lot of dirty shit and then still manages to complain. I think Curry's starting to get there.
Yeah.
That's the one I would relate to watching it with those fans. Is I heard a lot of excuses, a lot of, he must have a stomach virus. Something must be going on with him. What could be amiss? A lot of that kind of crap. And a lot of people complaining about foul calls in such a way that it made me
driving you crazy. But
I think Curry's number 2 for me.
But seriously, hold on. I think I wasn't sure if I heard you right. You're putting Curry. Is he in the running for kill list, or is he actually in the physical kill list for you?
No, he's not there yet.
No. That's what I thought. He's got to be short of that.
I was starting to get angered, and part of it was that I was watching with a lot of Warriors fans who were just bonkers.
Fair enough. Watching in the cold emptiness of my basement while my son tries to sleep like a champion. He slept like a fucking champion. I was goddamn loud the whole night.
He did his part. He wore his Kyrie Irving jersey to bed, as he should. But I was impressed. He said, the point being, I'm getting sidetracked. The point being, I just saw a guy who was just struggling. I didn't see anything that really pissed me off about him. I didn't see any of his bullshit hijinks where he, doesn't get fouled, but exaggerates to get a call. I get the lean in shot, but that's a classic play. And, you can't get mad at that. That's what good players do is pull off those calls. For me, well, first of all, can we just agree that even though he's not a Golden State Warrior, Jeff Van Gundy still has to be at the top of my list. Yeah, the nice thing for me watching out at the bar is that I couldn't really hear him.
Oh my God, he was awful.
I can only imagine.
Any of our 3 listeners listening right now, please use the Q&A function here to leave us your worst JVG moments. I'm so overloaded with fury that I can't even think of anything simple specific, but I just wanted to every single time he opened his mouth. But Bogut is still number 1 on my list easily among the Warriors. I didn't mention this before, but in game 1, he pulled an Olnick on Tristan Thompson.
Yes,
he literally grabbed him. You could see him grabbing with both arms while the teacher was reaching for a rebound while he was falling. So extra weight on top of that and yanked him down to the floor. And, just thank God.
I think he got called for that one, didn't he?
What?
I think he got called for that one.
Maybe he got called for it. I don't know. But it wasn't like any kind of to me, it was like, that's not a basketball play. That's a flagrant, if anything.
Yeah.
Certainly after seeing one of our players get lost for the season with that injury. Oh my God. And then also on top of that, last night, he complained about a call where he was literally bear hugging Tristan with two hands, hugging him, and then got real angry saying, he's grabbing my jersey. Just without a doubt, Bogut is a number one on my kill list. Dre cheated on 2 jump balls and got away with it.
I'm more mad at the refs for that, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, again, this is driving me crazy. This might be a storyline in games 3 and 4. I don't understand. The Warriors haven't gotten a single technical yet, except for the offsetting tees that Dre and JR got. They haven't got a tee yet, and Jesus, I have not seen a team talk with such hostility and disrespect to referees without tees. Holy
it's really
shit! Like,
do you feel it's more than Draymond? Draymond really has done it. I was surprised at a couple instances where he didn't get one, with like the cursing and swinging your arm at the same time that usually gets you rung up right away.
I mean, screaming in their face, like really aggressive. I'm just shocked, completely shocked. There's no technicals on that. And on top of that, after all that buildup, Iguodala, who's not like, he's not known to me as a guy who complains about calls. He sprinted to the other end of the court on what was a clearly obvious foul call. Yeah, LeBron leaned in a little bit, but he didn't need to lean in is the point. It was a foul. It was a foul. LeBron leaned in just to make sure he got the call, and it was a clear foul. He ran to the other end like it wasn't.
Yeah, and that one made the Warriors fans real upset too.
Yeah, but you know what? Typically speaking, Matt, you run to the other end of the court to protest a foul, you get automatic technical. I don't know when I've seen that not get called, except last night. I mean, maybe I've seen it once or twice before, but that's been a point. It's one of those calls of emphasis.
To be honest, though, I'm fine with them letting that go as long as Cavs players don't start getting rung up. I'm fine with not having technicals called.
I generally agree with you, except that it has been building. And that's why I think it's something to watch for in games 3 and 4.
Yeah,
I got to think they're watching this. They have been, maybe I'm looking. This is the homer of me coming out. Maybe I feel like they've been more adamantly vocal about the calls, except certainly last night in overtime. We'll get to that in a bit. The Cavs certainly got their mouthful in there, LeBron particularly. But I think pretty much every objective fan, being a non-Cavs fan, non-Warriors fan, all pretty much agreed this was all heavily against the Cavs, those bad calls. And to be clear, well, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to the refs in a second. Matt, I want to move on quickly to the moment. That's what I'm calling this game, if we're going to give a name to it. It's the moment. And the reason it's called the moment is because LeBron coined this phrase by using that phrase 7 times during a single sentence during his post game.
No, you were counting.
That was my rough count. I did not actually sit down and count the number of phrases. But he said, when you're in this moment, you have to play for the moment, because you get in this game, this moment doesn't come. He literally kept saying the moment. It was. I kept going, wow, did somebody bet him? Did somebody bet him he couldn't say the moment 7 times in a single sentence? I feel like that's what was just happening. But he's right.
Like a cat game from Super Troopers?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, a little fun fact from my job on HuffPost Live the other day, Mark Lamont Hill, one of my nemesis, I guess, although he's been very nice to me lately. So I'm in his ear, right in the control room, talking to Mark Lamont Hill while he's doing a segment, and he has perfect Arabic pronunciation. So when he says Al Qaeda, he says Al Qaeda. He says it, perfectly, right? So I sent him a chat in the middle of the segment, saying, just teasing him, saying, I really respect how you pronounce the Arabic names perfectly, and appropriately. I really hope that you are consistent when you say, any word in Spanish like burrito. I hope you say that the right way. And he literally found a way in the course of the conversation, which was on something serious. I can't remember what it was. He found a way to slip the word burrito into a segment. So I felt that was sort of what LeBron was doing there. But,
So you think this is the moment?
This is the moment.
This is the moment being the game itself, this period in time.
Well, this was the moment where I felt like the Cavs really actually had a chance. And I feel embarrassed now the way we were talking about this over the weekend. We were saying we have a chance the way Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
You're saying we have a chance. That was the kind of chance I gave them. That was the kind of chance of, well, we have 3 more games to play at least. So, yes, there's a chance. we haven't lost the series yet, so there's a chance. Now I'm like, no, we have a legit chance. I still want to say my original call of Warriors in 6 still kind of stands, but now I'm starting to think just, fuck that. Yeah, maybe it will be Warriors in 6. You know what? Maybe it will. But honestly, I think these Cavs think they're going to win. The Cavs believe they can beat these guys. Whether they can or they can't, we're going to find out.
They certainly are not scared of them at all.
No, not at all. And while there's many reasons for them to be afraid, they just aren't.
No.
And I think that's what the moment really means. That's what the moment means.
So while you're talking about LeBron, did you see the thing about how he was talking about how he's got a lot of motivation and people know some of them? And then he sort of alluded to the fact that there's another piece of motivation that he's not prepared to talk about yet.
Yes.
What is that?
What is that? That is the classic LeBron subtext, passive aggressive, dog whistling. I don't know.
Is he just bullshitting?
No, the best guesses I've heard have been not getting the MVP the last 2 years in a row. Because he does actually care about that, and that's partly.
There's a lot about it for sure. He doesn't like people thinking he's not the best player. I get that, but that's not. I guess that would be a really jackassy thing to say anytime, let alone in the middle of a.
Well, that's why I think
finals.
He's talk about it right now. I think he started thinking about it, and that's where his head was, and he said, "You know what? I'm not going to say that because that's a Bush
League. He realized how awful it would sound.
Yeah. But or he maybe said that was his message to his guys, saying like, "You guys fucking know I'm the best, and how it bothers me that people don't think I'm the best. They're so used to this that they want the next flavor of the month kind of stuff."
Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, huh, Pat?
Yep. And I mean, look, you and I both know that's sort of part of LeBron's personality. For better or for worse, that is something that he is vain. He's also like an incredible teammate. I mean, Jesus. I'm going to skip ahead to the LeBron section now since we're on it.
Sure.
I mean, LeBron, I don't know if I can say it any better than any of the people I've been reading the past couple of days, but the leadership he's displaying in this series, win, lose, or draw, is unprecedented. I mean, to be leading the guys that he's got. I mean, yes, we talked about this the other day. We compared them to the 2009 Cavs. Our friend Ned thought that was not fair to the 2015 Cavs, but in many ways, it's not fair to the depth of the 2009 Cavs. The point is, LeBron, I think, this is a mark of how much he's grown. I think a big measure, actually, of how much he's grown and the kind of role he can play as a leader on a team is because he went and won titles in Miami, as much as I hate to say it, as a Cleveland fan. There's a great piece actually in the Plain Dealer by Chris Haynes. I don't know if you saw it, Maddie, about what he gave the Cavs before the finals began. He rented out a suite at the hotel they were staying at in San Francisco, brought them all in, and he had a bunch of stuff there. He had special barbers to do special haircuts for all the guys, blast of music, food, drink. But before that all came in, he sat them down and just talked to them seriously about what they had to expect. That they had to shut everything out, shut the noise out, and know they're here for business. It's fun, all the media hype and everything, and going to the press events, but we're here for a fucking job, And but the other fun thing I found, by the way, so they seem to really have a message with the guys and really seem to sink in. I think you see it in their play. You certainly saw it in the opening game one. But one other side fun fact I learned about LeBron in that article is LeBron's kind of like Oprah on the Cavs.
Right, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, that kind of thing?
Yeah, apparently everyone's really psyched about the fact that he gave them all Apple Watches at this event.
That is nice.
As J.R. Smith says, I don't know how he does it, but every day it's something different. Watches, sneakers, Beats headphones, hoodies, book bags. Man, I can't wait to come back next year. I want to see what we're getting next year. So great. Brendan Haywood said, look, LeBron's probably the greatest player in the world who gives out gifts like it's candy. We look forward to it every single time. I mean, this is like Daddy LeBron. That. Daddy Warbucks.
I like it.
It's so great. I don't know. What are you seeing from LeBron in this series, Matty?
So I think he's doing what he has to do, right? Like I saw a lot on Twitter about how I think he's one behind in the last 2 series. He's shot the ball. He's had 3 games where he's attempted 35 field goals or more. Mm-hmm. And that's one behind Kobe's entire playoff career. And right. I think there's sort of this like, well, if Kobe's a gunner, LeBron's a gunner. And that stuff is just nonsense to me, right? Like he is. Mm-hmm. This is a mash unit he's rolling out there right now, and I think he's doing what he has to do. I still don't think we've seen a really fully complete game from him.
No, I mean, well, it's hard to.
Yeah, that's one of those for sure. And listen, that might be impossible for him to have a really fully complete game when he's playing 50 out of 53 minutes and carrying almost the entire load on offense and still doing what he needs to do on defense. Mm-hmm. He was 8 for 29 from 2-point range yesterday.
That's crazy.
I think that stuff. So we'll get to X's and O's for how the remainder of the series maybe, but I think he's got another gear still that he hasn't been able to get into, and the Warriors better have some role in that, but. God damn it! I think he can still do more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the only thing I'm concerned is that I feel like the inefficiency is a product of how high his usage is, how high it has to be.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's going to get to where he was last year in Miami, right?
No, any of those years in Miami, frankly.
I think that's just impossible. But
no,
there is also a large amount of ground between that and the 8 for 29 from 2-point range.
Yeah,
and I'm just hold out hope that there is some middle ground there that he can get to that would make an enormous difference.
Absolutely.
For us, but outside of that, so impressive.
Before I get to some more points in the moments, I just want to read a few more things to pump everyone up about how amazing the Cavs have been. Rachel Nichols tweeted last night that she talked to Cavaliers Iman Shumpert on his team upending expectations. Quote, "We're not here to be a part of anyone's story. We're here to win." Again, this is, to me, evidence of everyone carrying the same mindset that LeBron, brought to them in that hotel room. Zach Lowe, in a great piece today that he wrote in the middle of the night, basically his whole article could be summed up in, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Much more eloquently put, but that's basically what it sums up as. He ends his piece with, Golden State is still the big favorite here, but we need to stand up and take notice of what Cleveland is doing with this MASH unit on a Game 3. Absolutely unbelievable what we're doing. I had one other thing I wanted to share. A great piece also by Adrian Wojnarowski. Am I pronouncing that right? I always feel like I get his name wrong.
That's how I say it.
Let's just say Awaj. That's much easier to say. He had a great piece about what LeBron's doing to kind of help the team frustrate Golden State's offense. There's a lot of quotes from David Griffin and some of the Cavs coaches. David Griffin's quietly one of my favorite people in the Cavs organization.
Yeah, he's been great.
Just the shit he says too.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when asked about like what how the Cavs are doing what they're doing, his answer was, "We got a bunch of grown ass men in that locker room." It's such a fucking baller response. Or as Jim Boylan put it, asked about like how the Cavs are competing against such all odd, being able to hang with the Golden State Warriors. He says, "When you have LeBron James, you have a fucking chance." I mean, yeah, I'll say it. I'll own up to it. I think you should own up to it. We both didn't give us a fucking chance with just LeBron on this team, and we should have fucking known better.
Yes. I mean, I still have severe concerns about what we're able to do moving forward.
Absolutely. And I think we'll get to that in the final stretch run. When we talk about the X's and O's, we actually get down to the nitty gritty of how we can keep doing what we're doing and how much of it is us and how much of it is just an off night from Golden State. That you guys just have to keep listening to the rest of the podcast. We only got about like 18 to 20 minutes left here before you got to run, Maddie. So we got to be quick here. No more lollygagging, as we like to do. Let me I'm going to quickly move on briefly to just a quick confession. Maddie, I almost blew this last night.
What have you done?
after LeBron's huge three put us up 11 with 3 to go, which is incidentally just inside the 12-point margin of my can I relax rule, which we agreed upon at the beginning was out the window.
Yes, we said we had to double that.
Right. So we were even close to 24, but we weren't even in the 12-point ratio. So everyone was saying, how did the Cavs blow an 11-point lead? Well, it was inside the 12-point ratio.
Oh yes.
4 points within 4 points per minute, 3 minutes left. Anyway, I was so pumped, so excited that I actually sat there and allowed myself to think, wow, can you imagine if we win this game? What if we swept the next 3? Matt, I fucking did it. I nearly did it again. The minute it happened, I said, shut the fuck up, Patrick. Shut the fuck up.
Pat, that's disappointing.
Can I have this thought?
You can't do that anymore.
And so I thought we lost when LeBron missed that layup and got fouled 5 times, or at least 3 times, on the way to the basket. By the way, NBA.
NBA says that's not a foul.
Not a foul. Not a foul. Apparently, not neither of them. Not a foul.
I didn't have such a problem with the no call on the layup attempt. Actually,
yeah, but the foul at the top with us in the bonus, given the fact that they gave the foul call to J.R. Smith reaching in,
that one.
Which was also a foul. Yes, it was.
I thought he didn't touch him on that one.
No,
the one on Curry.
Nah, he got him with one hand on the back of the jersey, the other hand it was a foul. But again, you're gonna call that 75 fucking feet from the basket when they're in the bonus. Seriously, but you're not gonna call that for LeBron on the last play driving the basket.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting that. He's not getting that call unless he gets hammered at the rim, and he did not. Agreed,
but again, then you don't call that goddamn foul on J.R. Smith. You let that go. Did Curry lose the ball?
Now you're looking for consistency, Pat. And
that's fairly too much to
get that. That's way too much.
Anyway, so thank God the Cavs rescued me and J.R. Smith. Oh boy, the yang of JR. There's the yin and the yang.
Did we get much of a yang last night?
No, there's the yin and the yang. We got the yang in the Eastern Conference Finals. We got
a lot of yang.
A lot of yang tonight.
Series, yeah.
A lot of yang from JR. I mean, did you not have the same thought that I had when he fouled out? Of oh God, thank God, Jesus Christ, thank God. Just sit down. We got this, JR. Oh, I didn't think we got this. Like I said, because of that choke job in my brain, I thought that we were destined to lose in overtime.
Oh, I was convinced that we were done in overtime. I mean, for some of the same reasons that we struggled in the overtime last time, right? Like our guys had played insane amounts of minutes.
Yeah, just burned. Burned out.
They're just going to be exhausted. Although, people have pointed this out, Kerr used his bench much less in this game than he did in the first.
He did, which was interesting.
So his guys were not so – besides Bogut, everybody else is pretty close to where the Cavs guys were at. In terms of
and they are used to it. We've been doing this for 2 fucking rounds, motherfuckers.
Oh, yes.
Get right. Get your mind right. You weren't ready for this shit. You want to hang with your best guys? You better do some more practice. Anyway, this is a good spot to move on to what the ref. What the ref?
Yeah.
Matt, what the ref?
What upset you the most?
It's hard. The drive to the game-winning shot upset me the most, which was not a foul. No fouls at all in that play. Totally clean. Good defense.
And as Zach Lowe pointed out in that piece, Iguodala was fouling LeBron on almost every possession.
Yeah, and Zach Lowe's right. Iguodala was smart as shit. Iguodala's not a dirty player. Iguodala's like, oh, you're not calling this shit? All right, I'm doing this every single time. It's the only way I'm going to stop this guy. I got to use everything I can to stop him. If you're not going to call this, I'll keep doing it. And he was absolutely right. But the Draymond Green fouls they didn't catch, those are hard to catch, I guess, but these are terrible refs. I mean, the worst was Tony Brothers. There was no one in a better position in the entire world. No one on TV had a better angle.
Yeah, he was right there.
Arena had a better angle. He was staring right there, not even 3 feet away. Now, look, if you wanted to say, I'm not calling the foul, LeBron, because you traveled, just call the fucking travel. It's not a foul. Sorry, to back up, refs will frequently not call a foul on a turnover, meaning like, well, you still give the ball up, but I don't want to give a star an extra foul and hurt the game. Refs do that, and I get that, and I'm not totally opposed to it. If it's sort of like you have 2 calls you can make, you veer towards the let's not have the star player fall out. And I mean that across the board for other teams and players. I get that. It's a thing that the refs do. But my point here is travel's not a foul. And you could totally call that travel, and it's fine. Instead, he decided to go, nope, no travel. I was right here to see that. And you just got, like, your arms chopped off, both, two, at the same time, ball flying up in the air. No call, bro. Nope, no call. That drove me crazy.
I think my least favorite was the jump ball. The LeBron Draymond jump ball in overtime. Especially because I couldn't hear what was going. I couldn't really hear what the announcers were saying, so I had no idea what the hell the call was. It just looked like a bad tip that they decided to give to.
Yeah, it's a violation. It's a violation. You can't catch your own jump ball.
Right.
And the only reason that happened was because Dre Green just put his hand on LeBron's shoulder to jump up and still couldn't get higher than LeBron, which is hilarious.
It was a very poorly officiated game.
Go ahead.
I have some Warriors friends who were texting me throughout the game that they were extremely upset with the refs.
Oh God!
From the Warriors' point of view, which I didn't really. I really tried to put my objective hat on and see. And the only one I could really identify during the game was the jump shot where LeBron sort of leaned into Iguodala and got the call. I didn't remember a whole lot other than that was even close to
the only one I saw that I can remember was when Klay Thompson was going crazy. Like, we couldn't fucking stop him. But then he picked up a second foul, I think on maybe
was that a layup? Was that a layup attempt?
Yeah. Yeah, and oh my God, I remember Tom Haberstroh just tweeted back because Klay Thompson was just like, what? And just was so upset. Like, what? And Tom Haberstroh was like, Clay, that's a foul. Like, just calm down, sit down. That's a foul. And his entire commenting section for, like, as far as I could care to scroll through was just Warriors fans screaming at him about, are you even watching the game? He didn't touch him. It's like, I get it. It was a very light foul, but he bumped him on the drive. He did not have position, and then he also touched his arm. He didn't hit it hard. LeBron got hit harder on his game-winning drive, but that's objectively a foul. It's early in the game. LeBron was clearly driving and put him in a bad position. Look, if you want to contest that shot, then be ready to risk the foul. If you don't want the foul, give him a layup.
Yeah,
you guys are a defensive team. You're going to get fouls. So
I think the other thing people got upset about is that Bogut started getting called for loose ball fouls, but
they were loose ball fouls. They were egregious loose ball fouls, every single one.
That's what I said to my buddy. I was like, you employ Andrew Bogut and you're complaining about calls in a game? You're out of your mind.
Unbelievable. Maddie, this talk is getting me interested because we're losing time. I got to hear about Maddie in the Lion's Den. You went out from the safe confines of your domicile, of your cozy domicile, wearing a special homemade LeBron t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Which I wish you would post a selfie somewhere, like in the comment section or something, but you did not pull that off last night. I was very upset.
No, that's true. I tried it. I was actually out of room from memory.
Yeah.
Right, seriously.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Don't come on. Don't insult me, Matt. Don't make excuses.
All right.
No. But I want to hear about this. You went out to a bar in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, in my neighborhood.
In your neighborhood.
With about.
Did you have any fear? I mean, you're going out amidst all of these rabid, loyal Golden State fans who are dying for a title. They haven't won in so long. They haven't won any. They can't even smell a championship in all these years.
No, zero fear. I think we said this the last time. These people are cowards. Nobody's going to do anything. It's California. People are super soft. They talk a little. If you come back at them even a tiny little bit, they bow down right away.
What did your shirt say?
Oh, it's a picture that you can see it if you Google baby LeBron, but it's like a picture of, I don't know, when he was in class picture or something of him holding a little stuffed animal, and it just says bow down to baby LeBron.
Speaking of which, you know that Twitter meme of that kid who just keeps saying LeBron James' name over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James. I love the internet so much. Somebody put together a clip of Steph Curry with his daughter sitting on his lap, and she's like trying to talk to and they just dub over all of her voice, just her saying LeBron James over and over again. Oh, I love the internet. Anyway, Maddie, continue.
So, anyways, it was the short story is it's not scary at all. There's a bunch of back down artists and a lot of bandwagon jumpers too. People who clearly hadn't watched much basketball throughout the course of the year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Johnny come latelys. A lot of no offense female listeners. A lot of women who are excited and caught up in the fever, and I get it. And the Giants had just won here, so everybody thinks it's peaches and cream when you're in the postseason, and that's what you get. But not battle tested, not a lot of heart, just not a true, nothing to be afraid of, and not a true challenge in any way.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
We were talking and walking around with total impunity.
Oh man!
It felt, which, by the way, winning in the other team's spot is phenomenal. Losing in there is also quite terrible, and you have to deal with that. But there's the risk-reward proposition there is fantastic. There's nothing better than.
I've been there. I went to a Tribe playoff game in 2007 against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. It was game 3. We were going for the sweep.
Yeah.
And I wore my Tribe jersey under my shirt because I was with my sister, and I was like, I look, I'm not a big guy. I'm a pacifist. I don't want to tough my way out of this in New York. Let me just feel the temperature in my section before I pull off my outerwear to reveal my Cleveland fandom. I got there. Some guy was walking up the aisle this is like the first inning. With his he's got his fries and his beer. He's excited. He's walking him to his seat. And some dude 20 rows back just takes a full cup of beer, chucks it over the entire section of Yankees fans to hit this guy with a beer. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep the Indian shirt underneath.
That's impressive.
The New York Yankees fans I don't know. I'm not even going to dignify the other team with compliments because they can go suck a dick. They are the New York Yankees fans. They are fucking for real and terrifying. So I could not pull that here. So I gotta say, New York, as a fellow New Yorker adopted, you guys are tougher than San Francisco fans.
Now, to be clear, I don't think I would walk around. I'm not sure. I would not walk around with the same sense of security and confidence in Oakland, perhaps.
Yeah, fair enough.
Certain parts of Oakland, but the San Francisco itself is a whole different ballgame, and here we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, and Maddie, I want another time when I have more time with you because we're running out of time. I want to get a little primer on the difference between San Francisco and Oakland, not geographically, but
culturally,
spiritually, culturally. Yes,
happy to.
All right, Matt, we have a lot to get to, and I've got maybe 10 minutes with you max. I want to get to Delhi, and I want to get to X's and O's. Briefly, I'm gonna blaze through Delhi. You jump in with thoughts, but I'll start off just first with Delhi had the ugliest stat line. Probably the ugliest stat line of a great game-changing performance ever, if I can just say that without doing any research whatsoever.
3 for 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point range, 2 of 2 from the line, 5 boards, 1 assist,
3 steals. How many turnovers? Like 6 turnovers, something like that? 6
team
turnovers.
High, 6 turnovers.
However, the Cavs outscored the Warriors by 15 points with Delhi on the floor, and 17 when Curry and Dover were both on the floor.
That's crazy.
More importantly, I think, honestly, a guy like Delhi, a guy who measures himself by defense, we should start making as a regular stat collection item the stats of the guy they were guarding, whoever they were on, those stats. The player they were across from, what did they shoot? Let's just go with Steph Curry, who was trying to guard the whole night. He was 5 of 23 from the field, 2 of 12 from three-point range. And with Dellavedova defending, Curry was 0 for 6. 0 for 6 and just 3 of 18. I mean, that's fucking incredible. What to say about that?
My brother says another nickname we should consider is the Doctor of D.
The Doctor of D.
Because his initials are MD after all.
Oh, that is good. The MD of D. Oh, that's good. Johnny, good job. Johnny? Did I just call your brother Johnny? I've never called your brother Johnny in my life.
Call him Johnny.
Johnny? That's just coming. It just came out of me. It just
sure.
That kind of a nickname just deserves.
It's the Maddie and Patty
Johnny.
podcast, Pat. I think
it deserves a Johnny. Maddie, Patty, and Johnny. That's what I gotta say. Now Curry said briefly, I doubt this will happen again. With the adjustments I'll make once I look at the film, and like I said, one game is not going to make me stop shooting or alter my confidence at all. And I believe that for a second, and I believe that immediately, and I am horrified by it.
Yeah, Delly had a nice game. That's not sustainable. I mean, Curry still missed some open shots when Delly was guarding him. He missed some open shots throughout the game.
Yeah.
I also just don't think Delly has the lateral quickness to stay with him one-on-one.
Well, that's what I thought.
He can chase him around the floor, but I'm scared.
I'm terrified. I mean, I thought that in game one. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, does Kyrie play 44 minutes if Delly plays in game one like he did in game two?
It's an interesting question. I mean, Delly's limitations are such. His limitations are such, both offensively. I'm reluctant to say defensively. He's not quite as quick as you'd like.
No.
It's such a weird thing, right? If with given any alternative, you don't play him, but when you have to play him, he's coming through somehow. It's totally bizarre.
It's just mental, like if he let up knowing that he had Kyrie to play the whole game.
I mean, he only got in 9 minutes, right? Like he didn't have a ton of opportunities that game.
By the way, John hasn't figured out the Q&A function on our YouTube channel. None of our viewers apparently have, or left comments. However, I'm getting G chats from your or WhatsApp chats from your brother-in-law, and he's given us the go ahead. He said, "Fine, in the context of the show, I accept it." All right, Johnny, it is Johnny Youngner.
That works.
Beautiful, Johnny. Welcome to the Maddie and Patty podcast. I will say a couple things about Delly before we move on. Yes, one, Curry's going to get his. He's going to right himself, and I'm worried about this. Just like Delly said, he's going to get his shots up. You can't stop a lot of his shots. All you got to do is make him work and try and break him out of his rhythm. But one thing I will say is there was one possession that just embodied how Delly played the whole game. There was one possession in the second quarter where he was catching up to Curry off a screen, right? Somebody, flared out, show him recover, and he was catching up, and it was like the sort of desperation of, oh shit, he has like an inch of space to shoot the ball. I've got to get in any other human being on the face of the planet, J.R. Smith for sure, you and me for sure, would have just leaped, as high as they could desperately and just made a fool of themselves. Delly got so tempted, he left his feet for a sliver. But you can see, he tried to resist jumping. He resisted the impulse to jump, and he kind of left the floor for an inch and drifted, and then landed again. And Steph Curry, it was doing a pump fake, so he brought the ball back down. He's about to shoot again, and he goes up again. Delly doesn't jump this time. Keeps his feet on the floor, puts a hand up. Curry pulls it back down, and has to get the ball up. And then moves around, and the possession ends without a point. That fucking possession, it's about the mental shit. He has the tenacity to fight through picks. He's quick enough to stay with him with help defense, knowing that guys are there to help him. He can funnel him to the side. He knows guys will be there to help him at the end. And he's got the intelligence and the tenacity to not leave his feet. When and that's the thing I wish I could just
there's some of that. I think what we see from Delly here is that he can play good team defense, right? Even the stat you quoted, it was 8 shots that Curry took while he was guarding him. That's 8 out of 23 for the game. So other people were on Curry for most of the time. That's not an accident. That's because we think other people are better at guarding him. Mm-hmm. But he schemed well. So I think that whole Delly shut Curry down thing was pretty overblown and more just a nice, easy narrative for reporters to pick up at the end of the game, an indication of what he can actually do and did actually do. Not to take anything away from him. There's a ton of heart and hustle, and we needed him. But
yeah. No, I agree. I think the whole point is he made him work. He tried to break him out of rhythm, and that was it. And we'll it remains to be seen whether that's enough. I don't think it is. I think Curry is one of those special players that will find a way to just start splashing the shit out of everything, and I'm terrified for that moment when it comes. One of our live viewers, Maddie, agrees with you. Jeff Versteeg, the Vial of Sticky Thins, has texted us to say, Delhi sucked on both ends. What are you guys talking about? Curry had open shots all night and was just ice cold. But again, Jeff, yes, Curry was ice cold. I get it. I agree. Matt agrees. I think this is more Curry than Delhi. But I think it is a total – it is a buster move. It is a hater move to pretend that Delhi had nothing to do with it. Like Delhi helped keep him out of rhythm, helped frustrate him. I guarantee if Delhi wasn't playing the way he was last night, Curry isn't that cold, 100%. I just don't see that happening. And frankly, you saw it in the Memphis series when he got frustrated by Tony Allen and was really frustrated. And frankly, he broke out of his slump when Tony Allen got hurt, and more importantly, when the Golden State Warriors realized they didn't have to guard him on offense. They could leave him open and have Bogut guard him. When that happened, go ahead.
They really had Tony Allen guarded Steph Curry, and Tony Allen is a much better defender than Delhi is.
I agree. I agree.
He's another level. So it's not. I think if you want to credit our defense with
it's
frustrating Curry and doing it, then you have to credit it to the team more than.
Oh, absolutely, more
than Delhi.
But my point is, Delhi, unlike Tony Allen, can actually hit a 3-point shot. In fact, he hits it really well. It's 40% shooter in the regular season. So, unlike, for example, you can't stick Bogut on Delhi, for example, to take him off the court.
No, because he can hit an open three.
He can hit an open three. And so because of that, you keep Delhi on the court. You keep the guy that's frustrating and breaking his rhythm up. That's what gives us a chance. I don't know who's going to actually do it. As Jeff Versteeg says now in another text, let's see Delhi do it again in Game 3. I'm skeptical. So am I. I'm not skeptical. I am. I don't know. I just don't know. We'll see if he can do it. We'll need him to do it. Otherwise, we have no chance.
Patty, I gotta give you the 5-minute warning. So do you want to?
Yeah, I know. I think I'm past your 5-minute warning, frankly. But
that's okay. I can give you 5.
You're being a gent, gentleman and a scholar. And then John Youngner adds in that he says, sorry, hold on. He says, lack of space, weird to you guys. He crushed in Game 1. Johnny, no. Space was missing his shots. He missed a layup. He blew it. I'm surprised we saw him as much as we did. He also says Jeff Versteeg is an idiot. Johnny, you make a good point. I didn't say it. You said it. But strong point, strong take. He also says Curry was shook. His body language said it all. So frustrated. I don't know if he was shook. I think he just, you'd be shook if you're missing all those shots. If you, I don't think he was shook. I think he was just frustrated. I mean, he wasn't shook. He hit a game-tying layup. He's baller all night. He just wasn't hitting the shots. I don't think he was shook. I just think that Delhi did a good job of breaking his rhythm, and he also had an off night on top of that. Yeah. I think he's going to break out for a big game, probably in Game 3, and I'm terrified of it. All right, Maddie, home stretch here. We got 5 minutes max. Let me start off our Game 3 preview by calling out to Dave Deming. Dave Deming texted us today, our buddy, and was saying he had an idea that he wants to talk about. He thinks that Game 3 is our Game 7. What are your thoughts on that?
There's something to be said for that. It's not quite true. I think we got enough. At this point, I think you'd be okay with a split at home, no matter what, and make it a 3-game series and just hope something crazy can happen. I don't think they'd feel terrible if they came back out here tied. So it's not quite that intense, but man, how big would it be to get that game?
Oh my God, it would be huge,
and it shifts such immense pressure onto the Warriors.
It would also shift a huge amount of pressure onto you and me to keep our shit together.
Yeah,
I think I might break under the pressure. Curl into a ball.
It's a big game. They need to come out, and I think if they're going to win the series, they got to win this game. So if that's what Dave means,
that would be a Game 7. It sounds like you're endorsing Deming here.
I don't like to, so I sort of talked around it a little bit, but in the end, I think he's probably right. Now, to do it in our last couple of minutes, I'll go quickly first. The things I think we got to happen is our shooting's got to come alive a little bit, right? And by that I mean JR, Shumpert, and Delly too from 3-point range.
And James Jones.
Jones was 2 for 4 yesterday, right? Like and he had one of his rattled in and out too. I was pretty happy. I was relatively happy with how he shot, but we need big time. It's not Delly and Shumpert were 2 for 11 from 3-point range. That's not. We need more than that. I think we need to see more Timofey. And I understand the reluctance to play him out there on the end because Blatt really likes having TT be able to switch on pick and rolls, and it's terrifying seeing Mozzie out there on pick and rolls on Delly or whoever. But I think he also we can press an advantage at the other end with him if we're willing to do it. And I think that is something we should seriously consider, especially if he's playing like he did the last game, man. I think we can ride that hand a little longer than we have previously.
Absolutely. So Johnny, just it's done now, John. I've called you John my entire life. Now I'm calling you Johnny for the rest of the time. He just texted, Game 3 winner wins 84% of the time, so there is truth to it. I was just about to say the same thing. I've seen that kind of stat, like the whole.
Those are sort of bullshit because the winner of any game wins a higher percentage of. The winner of Game 2 wins an enormous percentage of series too.
Exactly, winning a game.
Team won.
Winning a game, any game, increases your odds of winning the finals. Sure.
Yeah.
But I get the Game 3. I think is the highest percentage of the games to win. But again, I think that's just sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's sort of a trick of probabilities. I'm not really I
mean, the Cavs just won a series after losing Game 3. It just happened.
Yeah, exactly. So
and the Warriors scoop for that matter.
However, I agree. We have such a long hill to climb. We are so immensely served by winning Game 3 to put that pressure on them to help make them crack. Because we are so short on weapons, because they have so many, and the minute they realize how much they overmatch us, I feel like once they reach that confidence level, it's gonna be hard to hold them back.
I still think there's a game we get blown out bad.
Yeah, I agree. But
where all their guys, where Clay and Steph are hot at the same time, and whatever, Draymond and Harrison Barnes haven't really gone off yet. Like they have that mode where they're just untouchable. Mm-hmm. That's gonna happen once, I think, and we just gotta hope that it's once and that's it.
Absolutely.
We gotta have a game where our guys get it going like they can, where we're very, very difficult to beat even without Kyrie. If we have a couple guys go Nova, and I still have, like I said at the top, I think there's still hope that LeBron has another year.
God, I hope so. I'm in the home stretch here. I want to finish with a few final thoughts, Maddie. I'll let you go. One, Jeff Versteeg points out a very true, indisputable point. The winner of Game 7 wins 100% of all series.
That's probably the most important game.
That's probably the most important game. I want to take a different tack on what Deming was asking about with Game 3 being our Game 7. I think while that might be true from a fan perspective, from a strategic perspective of what's going to happen in the future history, it is the absolute wrong way for the Cavs themselves to be approaching this game. They got to approach this the way I think they're approaching every single game, which is we are going to take it to these motherfuckers every single fucking game. I don't give a goddamn if we lose Game 3. We are going to punish them in Game 4 and in Game 5 and in Game 6 and in Game 7 if it comes to that shit. We are going to punish them every fucking game and watch them and just hope they will. That's what we have to do. So I feel like we have to have the attitude. For example, I love being on the road from a fan perspective in the playoffs because the first 2 games usually I can be relaxed. I'm like, hey, we get 1 game out of this, we're good. We can, if we lose the first 2, they held serve. We can still come back, but now we have to win in Game 3, whatever. But now I'm like, honestly, we have the home court advantage back. We just got to hold serve. We just have to split. Honestly, we can split the next 2 games. I think we're going to make them feel it. I'd love to obviously go 3-1. Who wouldn't? But I think, honestly, we have to aim for a split. So losing Game 3 isn't the end of the world. We still have Game 4. And honestly, if we lose Game 4, fuck it. Keep making them fight. I don't know. We have to make them goddamn earn it. Yeah. Because these guys are a really great, talented team, but they haven't been here before. We have to make them feel it, make them earn it. And I think that's exactly how the Cavs have to approach this. A final point, I know you have to go, but You mentioned Mozgov. How much to see Mozgov out there? I want to give a shout out to an underrated move by Kerr. He put Bogut on TT. I think probably towards the end of game 1 too. Is partly why the rebounding advantage disappeared after it was like we were dominating the boards in the first half of game 1. We lost the advantage second half. TT had a horrible game. He was like minus 20, which I've never seen. Like that's amazing. When you make TT a negative plus minus player, that's a great fucking move. It's because they put Bogut on TT. That led to the Mozgov outburst, but they lived with it. And I think it was a smart trade-off. The same way we're going to live with Draymond Green flying to the hoop, right?
Right.
He's a little uncoordinated. I kind of want to see how we counter from that. How do we counter? The way we countered in the game was when Bogut was out. That's why we were playing TT down the stretch. Bogut was out the rest of the game. Kerr never put him back in, and so like Blatt was like, "Fucking hey, fantastic, thank you. I'll put TT out there, and he'll do what he does." And he got a lot of rebounds in the down the stretch and played amazing defense. So how we counter the Bogut on TT early in the game, I think, is a big deal. X's and O's down the stretch here in Game 3. One last thing, Versteeg mentioned he wanted to comment on whether the Cavs' big or small lineup was better. He thought big was much better. I agree, Stiggy, that I think our big lineup is the more we can have both Mozgov and TT on the court, the better. Even when Bogut's not out there. But I think more importantly, I think it's amazing that the Cavs aren't punished by their small lineup when we put our small lineup out there with them. There's almost no other team in the NBA that's been able to say that this year.
Yeah, but the Warriors, I mean, they're not – I don't know. They like to play small, right?
They do. No, they're very happy. What I have to say is it's impressive how the Cavs have, one, been able to hang with them with a big lineup, which is just, Mozgov letting Iguodala shoot threes. But also when we play small with them, we can hang with them in a way that no other team can. Like they're at their best at their small lineup, honestly. That's what they saw on the stretch. That's why Kerr played it, and that's why we had TT out there. But
that's an advantage of having LeBron James on your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a power forward that can play like a point guard. Basically having two forwards that can guard every player on the court. That's TT and LeBron. That's an amazing advantage to have. And I think that's why, yes, our big lineup is better, and the more we can have it out there, the better. But sometimes you have to take advantage of our big small lineup.
Yeah.
As Johnny Youngner says, we need our smalls to play big.
And our bigs to play big.
All righty, Maddie. I got to let you go. Stiggy's still commenting. He's going to comment into the ether. I'm not going to respond to them because they are ridiculous comments. No, there's some legitimacy to them, Versteeg, but we don't have time for it. Maddie, I hope your wife forgives us for making you late to pick her up from the airport.
We'll be okay. But just don't mention it to her.
I will not mention it to her at all. I will blame it all on Luna, your dog.
Perfect.
Who just kept yapping and making trouble and making messes around the house.
She's a wonderful scapegoat.
Huge game tomorrow night. You and I are going to be big puddles of neurotic, sweating messes.
Yeah,
are you going to take it to the street? You taking it to the streets again tomorrow?
No, I think I'm watching it home tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Good things happen when you're out and about last night.
It's true. I've got some logistical concerns I have to deal with.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Such is life.
Sad, but true.
I'm looking forward to it, though. I want to see the queue going bonkers.
Yes. A final observation on LeBron. LeBron, of course, in the post-game conversation, called on Cavs fans. Basically said, guys, get fucking loud. That was probably my favorite part. He saved it for his last comment of just saying how loud the queue can get. I cannot wait for this time. I mean, just seeing the video of the town in an away game freaking out, honking its horns after one win in the finals.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I can't wait to see them at home.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Maddie, let's have fun tomorrow night, and Godspeed. I hope you make it through it.
Thank you. You too, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. We'll do this again, I think, after Game 3, regardless.
I think we're in it
now. We're in it for the duration. It's done.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. All right, we'll be back. What was
Wednesday
Wednesday night? Good luck, Cavs. Tuesday night, 9:00. Big fucking game 3. Could be the game 7, as our friend Dave Deming says. Until next time, Maddie. Friendship. Go Cavs.
Take care, buddy. Go Cavs.